Macron says Biden is 100% right to push for more action on climate change.
Here's a summary of the article.
Washington, French President Emmanuel Macron welcomed the U.S. back into the Paris Climate Accords on Sunday, saying President Biden was 100% right to rejoin the agreement and seek further cuts in greenhouse gas emissions. It's time to deliver. It's time to rush, and President Biden is 100% right to do so, Macron said in an interview with Face the Nation that aired Sunday. Mr. Biden is hosting a virtual summit with dozens of world leaders this week to discuss further action to fight climate change. As Europeans, we increased our targets for 2030 and 2050 a few months ago because indeed we were lagging behind in comparison with our targets. And now we have to accelerate because we are living the first consequences of basically climate disorders, said Macron. We need two things. We need to accelerate innovation and ability to deliver. We need India and China to be with us, Macron said. We had a discussion with President Xi and I think we felt the commitments of President Xi on climate to work with the US and with Europe. First, to accelerate its target of 2030 to have the peak emission, and in some cities and some regions to do better and faster. We have to help middle classes and poor people to make this change with us, said Macron.
This post received a score of 14,000, with an upvote ratio of 91%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
Hot take.
Honestly, thank God he said this. I wouldn't have known how right it was.
I am so glad the banker said this to the senile warhawk who voted for every single U.S. intervention. These courageous men will save the world for sure. Democracy is a wonderful thing. We are so lucky that France voted Macron to stop Le Pen and Biden to stop Trump. The world's second worst option saving the day for humanity. Yay!
Two corporatists advocate for insignificant, market-based solutions to an existential crisis caused by the same financial giants they serve. The Paris Accord is nothing but a pinky promise.
What else do you suggest? It may not go far enough, but we might as well do something at it. A word.
Carbon pricing and dividend. Still a market solution. But it's one of the most promising pieces of legislation for effective change.
As a part of Canada's commitment to the Paris Accord, we have that. That is a result of our commitment to the Paris Accord.
As a Canadian, I'm pretty happy we have national carbon pricing legislation, even if I don't think the price is high enough to account for the true negative externalities imposed by carbon. I'm also happy that the opposition has also added carbon pricing to their plan, so that even should they win the next election, that won't axe the carbon tax. We're still not on track to meet our emission reduction targets, and we have never been on track. There are even some areas where I think even the United States had more progressive energy policies than us.
I agree. The one thing I'd add is that I'm actually pretty happy with Biden as president so far, but maybe that's just because the bar was so low, haha.
The guy commissioned a participative citizen assembly to provide him with solid political propositions to tackle climate change. They delivered a corpus of 149 ambitious propositions with budget and planning attached, and Macron, despite his engagement to uphold to whatever they would provide, cancelled or emptied more than half of them. He doesn't get to brag about climate actions.
While Macron is not doing enough to fight climate change, please don't take dumb top comments for granted and inform yourselves. There is a French website that follows closely the application of each of those 149 propositions, TLDR. A fourth of the propositions have a high chance of being put in place rapidly. About half of the propositions are still being discussed, with more or less probability to be put in place, and about a quarter have been abandoned.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.